Why me? Two simple words, but for years they carried the weight of my entire life. Why me? Why was I adopted? Why wasn't I raised by my biological parents? Why did my story start this way? And if I'm being honest, it wasn't a question I asked once. It was a question I asked 1,000 times over. And maybe you have too. Welcome back to Planted on Purpose. Today, I want to talk about a question that almost every adoptee asks at some point. But here's what I've learned. You don't have to be adopted to ask it. Because all of us at some point of our lives have looked at our circumstances and wondered, why me? When people hear why me, they think we're asking about adoption. But that's usually not the real question. The real question is deeper. The real question is, am I enough? Am I wanted? Am I valuable? Am I worthy of love? For years, I didn't even realize those are the questions hiding underneath my question. I thought I was looking for information. What I was really looking for was identity. And here's what makes this bigger than adoption. Some people ask, why did my parents divorce? Why did I lose someone I love? Why was I bullied? Why did I get laid off? Why did that relationship fail? Different circumstances. Same question. Why me? The truth is, most of us spend years waiting for an answer, but that may never come. I used to think if I could just find enough answers, everything would make sense. If I could connect every dot, then maybe I'd finally feel complete. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes we don't get all the answers. Sometimes we have to choose peace before we get understanding. The biggest shift in my life happened when I stopped asking, why me? And started asking, now what? Because why me keeps you looking backward. Now what forces you to move forward. One question makes you a prisoner, and the other makes you a builder. And that changed everything for me. Today, I don't define myself by the questions I couldn't answer. I define myself by what I chose to do with my story. I became a mother, a community builder, a storyteller. Not because I had all the answers, but because I decided my future deserved more attention than my questions. Next week, we're talking about something that completely changed the way I viewed my adoption story. The question is, was I given away or was I given a chance? That perspective shift helped me stop seeing my story through one lens and start seeing the possibilities hidden inside it. And I can't wait to share that with you. If you've been carrying a why me question of your own, I want to leave you with this. Your purpose is not waiting on an answer. Your life doesn't begin when you understand everything. Your life begins when you decide to move forward anyway. I'm Das. This is Planted on Purpose. And remember, what God plants, no man can uproot.